Hey guys, welcome back to Poorman Outdoors. Next thing we're going to do on this 2022 X4, the factory winch from Warren is tied into the key on switch. So that key on switch sends power, basically activates the solenoid for the winch, and then you can use the rocker switches to run the winch in and out. So I'm going to disconnect that. I'm going to put the winch power on a rocker switch. That way we only power that winch solenoid when we need it. So I bought some connectors from Extreme Metal Products. You can see here the one end, that's the male end. There's your part number. This is the female end. Again, there's your part number. And these are from Extreme Metal Products. I'll throw those on a link in the description to these. So I'm going to use these with the factory tap that Yamaha's using. Make up some little pigtails. That way there's no splicing on any of this. It'll all be plug and play to the rocker switch. We won't mess with any factory wiring. So I'm going to get the windshield and the hood off. And then I'll show you how to get the dash off and how to get behind it. So here we go, we got the hood off, we got the windshield off. So the reason I took the windshield off, you have to get these bolts here on the top of the dashboard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to take those 5 off. They are 4mm Allen. And then you have these 4 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take all those loose. Those bolts are a 10mm. Take all those loose and this piece of dashboard will come out. You will have to, these are some vent hoses, so you will have to pull those through those holes. There's a clear one right here. Once we get these bolts off, I'll pull this dash out. You also have to unplug the speed management switch if you truly want to take this plastic piece completely out. So I'm going to remove some bolts and pull this dash out, and we'll show you behind it. Once you get all those bolts out, this whole dash piece, kind of doing this one-handed, but you kind of rotate it up and you just pull straight out after you've rotated it up. You can see down here there is this clear tube, so that was the one tube routed through there. You have this is the switch for the speed control, so you can undo that, let's see, just like that. And then you have these rubber hoses there that are vents. I'm gonna unhook this just so we can see in here better, and I will be right back. All right, I unhooked that cable. That's right here for the speed control. So under here, under your dash, there is a wire harness that comes up over here for the winch. The actual winch solenoid, you probably can't see that because it's too dark, is up here in the passenger front wheel well. So it's tucked in there. There's a metal guard around it. So yeah, that comes up into here. It attaches right here to one of the accessory ports. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of these white accessory ports from Yamaha. They are power when the key is on. If you take the caps off, Yamaha sells a kit that is the other end of this with some pigtails coming off, so you can power other accessories through the key. I believe these are a 15 amp max fuse, so, and that's combined for all 5. So you're really not going to power anything directly through those. You're really going to use them to trigger a relay, which would then power a light bar or a stereo or anything like that. So basically what I'm going to do is, the winch is plugged in right here. It's this one. So I am going to unplug this, and we will use our Extreme Metal Products plugs in their place. Let me grab those, we'll plug them in, and we'll run them through one of the holes in the dashboard. All right, so I got these connected. You see here, this is the side going to the key. So since we're going to shove these through the dash, I put a label on that end as key, and this end here is the one coming up from the winch wiring. So we hooked that up, and I just labeled this one winch since we're going to be sticking it through the dash. That way we don't get confused when we get to wiring our rocker switch. So now you can maybe see some daylight down there, maybe not. Yes. So I already pulled out one of the rubber plugs on the dashboard where our rocker switch goes. Since this is the 850, they are down here. You can see I pulled one out. There's a little pull tab on it. So you just pull on that pull tab, they come out. These again are pre-cut for your typical rocker switch. So I'm going to feed these wires back through here, and then we will be done under the dash. We can put the dash back together, put our hood and windshield back on. Here we are back. I got all the bolts put back on for the dashboard. Don't forget to hook the electrical connector up for your speed control. You can see I got all those bolts in. We got the windshield back on. Don't forget, you do have to loop these rubber hoses back through. Not exactly sure what they're for. I'm sure they're a vent for something. Front diff or fuel tank, or I don't really know. But make sure you get those looped back through, keep them nice and dry. And we're done under here. So our hood can go back on. Once again, I just have these wires hanging out here through the dash through one of the pull tabs. So we're gonna make up our pigtails for the rocker switch. I'm actually not gonna make pigtails. I'm gonna use all the wire that's sticking out of the dash. That should be more than enough. We can put our spade connectors and all that on there and hook up the rocker switch as it's supposed to be. So we're gonna get that and we'll start working on that and come right back. Right, so I got all my my wires crimped down to their spade connectors. You can see this is the wiring from the little quick connects from EMP. So this standalone red right here, that goes to the positive on the winch. You can see there's a little daisy chain of positives here. That comes from the key switch. One goes to power the rocker switch, and the standalone one goes to power the LEDs in the rocker switch. So that's what those two are for. And then you will need 2 grounds on the switch for the LEDs, and the third ground wire here is the negative coming from the winch. So you have the negative from the winch tied to a negative for the switch LED, tied to a negative to the switch LED, and then tied to the negative on the key power side. And the key power side has a positive and a negative, so this is tied to the negative on the key power side. So that's all our spade connectors. I did double up these into one spade connector. As you can see, you just have to upsize the spade connector when you do that. So those are all crimped with a crimping tool, heat shrunk. Now we just need to connect them all to our switch. So this here is a wiring diagram I used. Again, it's basically what I just described. What you're seeing is the back of the switch. This is the winch connector. This is the key switch connector. So that is what I just showed you with all those wires. We're going to get this hooked up to the switch and pop the switch in the dashboard. We got our rocker switch put on here. You can see it's the winch power rocker switch. This all connects with those spade connectors with that wiring diagram I showed earlier. I did put a few zip ties on here just to keep the wires a little neater. I always cut the ends of the zip ties off with a flush cutter. I have this Milwaukee pair. I'll put the link in the description for these off of Amazon. These do a nice flush cut. It's not sharp at all. I have this winch power switch in one of the factory cutouts here. So if I turn the key on, you can see the winch power portion lights up. Turn the switch on. Now the winch symbol is lit up. And if I use the rocker switch on the dash, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that activates the winch. So that all works as it's supposed to. So I hope this helped you guys. If you also want to separate your winch power from the key switch, that is the way I did it. So yeah, hope this video helps somebody. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I did wrong. Bye.